Jackie here. Today I am going to demo how to use these myofascial release balls to release some tension on your low back. Let's just get right into it. Because let's face it, I'm sure majority of you have experienced low back pain once or twice or maybe even many times throughout our days. So make sure that you have these myofascial release balls. I like to use yoga tune-up balls, no affiliation with them whatsoever. I just find that they're a little bit more harder than tennis ball, last a little bit longer, and also they're less intense as lacrosse ball because those are a little bit too hard for my liking. Remember, less is more. So let's get started. We're eventually gonna lay on our backs, but before I go, make sure that these balls are never on bones, bruises, or cuts because if you place it on anywhere of those spots, trust me, it will not feel very good. So before I'm going to lay on my back, I'm going to demo it, bringing one ball on each side by my low back. Now, tennis ball or these yoga tuna balls, you can definitely place on the sacrum because I do find that they're a little bit squishier, so it is not intense. But if you happen to use lacrosse ball, please don't place it on your sacrum because that doesn't feel good at all. So we're gonna start by bringing the ball on each side of my spine. Anywhere here on my low back, anywhere that is discomfort, is all fair game. So let's get started. Laying on our backs, placing one ball on each side. Then slowly start to ease into it now. If you're like me and you have kind of a tight back right now, after teaching a class, your hips might not come all the way down, and that's okay. If that doesn't feel good, bring some support, maybe a pillow, a blanket underneath you so that you can help you relax. But I do find that eventually, once I get to just take deep breaths in and deep breaths out, eventually my hips do starting to come on right down onto the mat. Now, for some of us that has a really deep arch that don't feel anything, you're welcome to bring your knees to your chest. I'm going to demo it without the ball underneath my back because it's quite intense for me. So imagine that the balls are still underneath my low back. All you're going to do is just bring your knees towards your chest. When you bring your knees towards your chest, you actually flatten the back just a smidge more. So it gives you a little bit more pressure onto that space. So hopefully you find a sweet spot that you can stay still. And then just let your body melt into it. I always like to use my 3 breaths to help me relax just a little bit more. So on your next inhale, I want you to imagine that you're gentle squeezing the muscle that is touching the balls. As you exhale, relax. 2 more times just like that. Inhale, gentle squeeze. Exhale, release. One more, the slightest movement, slightest squeeze. And as you exhale, let your body be still. Let your body adjust. When you stay in stillness, you might even notice that different parts of your body are starting to release. So right now, I'm actually feeling underneath on my right glute. And that's the beauty of myofascial release, that instead of trying to dig deep to get into those deep muscles, we are rehydrating the fascia. I always like to say it's this web-like surround wrap thing that surrounds our entire body. And one yoga instructor told me once that if you don't have fascia, you're pretty much just a puddle of bones, muscles, and organs. So thank you, fascia, for holding everything together. Alright, now that you have stayed in stillness for a few moments, you might start to notice the pose has become less intense. It's a little bit more relaxing. Now, if you want to stay in stillness, feel free to stay here. But for some of us that do want to bring in some movement, just simply start to sway your knees from side to side. So when I bring my knees over to the right, I feel a little bit more pressure on the right. And if that feels good for me, I'm going to stay right there. Or you're also welcome to maybe follow your breath, inhale, bringing your knees back to center. And as you exhale, let those knees fall over to the left. So this is what we call windshield wipering the legs in yoga. So inhale, coming up, and exhaling, letting those knees fall. Now keep in mind, we don't want to really push in deep. Just slight little movement. And also allow your body to move slow. A lot of the times when you move really fast, we tend to just glide past those discomfort. And it is those discomfort that teach us how our body feels, what our body is feeling, and hey, maybe even learn something from that feeling. So you're welcome to stay in this movement for as long as you need. You're welcome to do this however many times you like throughout the entire day. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this pose. I'm gonna end this video with me keep doing this because it does feel so good. But until then, fill your jar up with love, joy, and peace. And as always, keep being you. The world needs more you. Bye.